I caught Rex kissing my roommate, and without hesitation, I broke up with him. His friends all bet on how long it would take for me to cry and beg to get back together. Even Rex casually placed a bet. I bet she won't last more than a month. The very next day, Rex showed up with my roommate, Frida, and they proudly walked in front of me. He had no idea, but I really had moved on from him. For 3 whole months, I never reached out to him once. When we met again, I and his friends made it official. Rex completely lost his composure. There was a club dinner notice. As soon as I pushed the door open, I saw an unbearable sight. Rex had his arm around Frida, smiling as they made their relationship official. "Rex, who's this?" Rex lazily smiled. "My girlfriend." "Then what about Irene?" When I heard my name, I finally pushed the door fully open. All eyes immediately turned to me. Rex, unfazed, met my gaze and raised an eyebrow. "What does that have to do with her?" "Right now, Frida is my official girlfriend." It hadn't even been 24 hours since Rex and I broke up. Frida blushed slightly and awkwardly hid behind Rex. The pitiful looks directed at me almost felt like they were going to burn a hole through me. I hadn't expected Rex to be here. "Irene, why aren't you sitting down? Are you upset because I'm here with Rex?" Frida stoked the fire, hitting Rex's sore spot. He looked at me with interest. "If you can't stand it, you can leave." The president tried to mediate, but I stopped him. I nodded, my hands clenched tightly in my pockets, barely holding on to my calm. "I really don't need to stay here. It's too suffocating." Ignoring everyone's gaze, I turned and left. But just a few steps outside, Rex caught up with me. He looked at me with amusement and chuckled. "Are you jealous?" I didn't respond, just desperately pulling my hand free from his grip. Rex pushed me against the wall. His fingertips brushed the corner of my eye. "Are you almost about to cry?" I found a gap and finally struggled free. Glancing over his shoulder, I looked at Frida, who was looking pale behind him. "Take care of your boyfriend, don't let him go out and disgust others." This time, Rex didn't chase after me. It was only about 5 minutes later that I realized I had left my bag behind. I had to go back. Loud laughter came through the door. "I just saw Irene earlier, she didn't look like she was over Rex." "Why did they break up?" I froze in place. Rex smirked without much interest. "She was just being dramatic." His friends continued to egg him on. "I bet she'll get back with Rex." "How about a bet?" "I bet 1 week." "I bet 2 months." Rex's tone was leisurely but extra clear at this moment. "I bet she won't last more than a month." I stood frozen, like an exhibit at an auction. My hand was too weak to push open the door. The next moment, I heard a soft sneer. "Scaredy cat." As I turned, a guy behind me pushed open the door. It was Wayne. Rex's closest friend. "Why are you so late?" He ignored everyone, grabbed my bag, and, before I could react, led me out of the scene. "Thank you." I rarely spoke to Wayne this politely. Ever since Rex and I got together, he had always subtly been hostile toward me. This was the first time he had helped me like this. "Did you two break up?" He glanced at me. That's when I realized he was still holding my hand. I quickly pulled away, trying to act casual, and nodded. Rex's call came through at that moment. "Where did you and Wayne go?" Rex was usually laid back. But now his tone was unusually dark. "So late, not returning to your dorm, what are you planning to do with a guy?" The frustration of the entire night finally burst. Without thinking, I blurted out. "If you and Frida can do whatever you want, then I can do whatever I want with Wayne." I hung up right after, not wanting to hear his mockery. An eerie silence forced me back to the reality I couldn't avoid. Wayne, lazily leaning against the wall, half closed his eyes and looked at me. His tone was relaxed. "So, what are you planning to do with me?" I suddenly felt a strong impulse to run my head into the wall. This was more awkward than hearing Rex's bet. Wayne seemed to ignore my numbness. He raised his eyes and gestured behind me. "A 6-star hotel, or a theme hotel? Which one do you like?" His voice had a faint smile. "Do you want something more formal, or something more immersive?" I closed my eyes in despair. I forced myself to change the subject. I'll treat you to dinner. Thank you for helping me out. Wayne smirked lightly, finally taking the cue. But we didn't go for dinner in the end. On the way, I pulled Wayne into a bar. Are you planning to drink away the frustration for that jerk? Wayne half smiled as he leaned against the bar counter. I shook my head. No, I just feel like there's too much awkwardness to digest tonight, so I thought alcohol might help numb it. With that, I took another big gulp of beer. Maybe I really had started to feel a little tipsy. I stubbornly forced Wayne to drink with me. He was drinking stronger stuff than me. Alcohol really did lower one's mental defenses. On the street at dawn, I tugged on Wayne's shirt and pointed to the pink neon sign across the street. It said, "Theme." What themes do they have? Was it the Doraemon exhibit I saw in Japan 2 years ago? Or maybe the Barbie-themed Glitter Crisis Park? The sparkling kind. I thought for a few seconds before politely asking. Could you take me to experience it? As soon as I finished speaking, my hand was grabbed. Wayne was playing with my palm, his voice curious. Are you drunk? I shook my head. I'm serious. I never knew that when I was drunk, I actually spoke more coherently. Wayne, take me. Wayne stared at me for a long time. Then he stepped closer, his gaze deep. What if you don't admit it tomorrow? Wayne was being so petty. Was he afraid I wouldn't pay for the tickets? But my phone was off, so I couldn't transfer money. I could only make a solemn promise. I won't back out. I'll pay, I swear. He seemed to record my words. Then he put his phone away and stepped closer to me. His hand caressed my cheek. His voice was husky. Do you mind? I instinctively leaned into him. His warm, dry palm felt comforting, and I couldn't help but close my eyes. I like it. Wayne's last barrier crumbled. He grabbed my hand. Our fingers intertwined as we walked in. The receptionist seemed hesitant. We weren't prepared. Do you need something? I didn't quite understand. Huh? Wayne paused, not turning around. He lightly squeezed my fingers, his voice even lower. Send it up. In some ways, this felt very much like a roller coaster ride. I sat in the seat, feeling the speed shifting between fast and slow. Some of the tracks were so bumpy that I had to grab anything I could hold on to. Occasionally, I even thought back to examples I learned in Chinese textbooks. For example, a flower bud ravaged by wind and rain, almost on the brink of dying. A full-grain silo, the family waving their hands with a smile. That's enough. No matter how much more grain, it wouldn't hold up. Fragments of my thoughts overlapped in my mind. The last scene was something I had seen at my grandmother's house when I was little. The back mountain caught fire. The fierce fire was eventually put out by a storm. Wayne was like a champion athlete. He crossed the finish line with ease. He chuckled, it's done. Waking up after a hangover without any memory loss is the scariest thing in the world. As the morning light barely started to break, I fled in panic. My phone was still turned off. When I got to the dorm building, I saw Rex standing there too. Dew was still on his shoulders, and it seemed like he had been standing there for quite a while. Where did you go? His tone was flat, but it sent a chill down my spine. I planned to walk around him. It's none of your business. Rex grabbed my wrist with the hand holding his cigarette. The flickering tip of the cigarette was dangerously close. Are you crazy? I've been waiting here for you all night. You didn't come back. Your phone's been off the whole time. Rex took a step closer. Irene, you better not tell me there's really something going on between you and Wayne. The storm in his eyes was intense. It felt like the first sign of his breaking point. I couldn't help but feel a little scared and kept backing away. Don't push me to the edge. He suddenly smiled, a cold, chilling smile. I'll kill both of you. Scumbag. I thought the whole situation was absurd. You cheated, I broke up with you, and now you're still trying to control who I can talk to. He seemed to be beyond listening to anything I said. When he made another move toward me, I quickly turned and headed back to the dorm, but bumped into Frida at the door. She didn't look like she had just come downstairs. Are you proud of yourself? Her eyes were slightly red. My mind was in a daze, and I didn't know how to respond. What? What's the point, Irene? She muttered to herself. He admitted to me that I'm his girlfriend. He'd even publicly humiliate you for me. In his eyes, you mean nothing. So, I suggest you stop overthinking. I leaned against the wall, trying to ease the ache in my back. I mumbled dismissively. You're nothing to me, just like him. I didn't have time to deal with her. I needed a shower, urgently. Without waiting for her to respond, I turned and headed back to the dorm. I didn't even notice the hateful look she shot at me. After avoiding Rex, I had just turned my phone back on when Wayne's call came through. Without thinking, I hung up. A message immediately popped up. Wayne, ? I trembled, holding the phone, feeling lost. Another 2 seconds passed. Wayne, Irene, you're done for. I suddenly had a bad feeling that I was really in trouble. Sure enough, when I came out of the library that night, Wayne was waiting by the door. He was holding a cigarette, looking at me with a smirk. Come here. Let's settle this. The temperature had dropped suddenly. But colder than the night breeze was Wayne's voice. I really don't need you to take responsibility. I took a deep breath, trying to reassure Wayne, who I had pulled into a secluded corner. After all, it was all an accident. He scoffed coldly, slowly unbuttoning his shirt. My calmness began to crack, bit by bit. There won't be a second time. I became anxious, lowering my voice to remind him, and this is outside, you know. Wayne gave me a disinterested glance, then pointed at the collarbone near my neck. Did I say I was going to take responsibility? I'm here for you to take responsibility. The red mark on my collarbone was glaringly obvious. Wayne, as if not satisfied with making me feel awkward enough, kept pushing. It's my first time. Who isn't? How could you be such a jerk? I closed my eyes, trying to process the fact that a man was calling me a jerk. When I opened them again, Wayne was carefully buttoning up the top button. He looked at me with cold eyes, watching me as I cautiously apologized. I'm sorry. What do you want me to do to make it right? I sighed again, helpless. I just think, I don't like you, and you don't like me, so there's really no reason for us to be tied together over this. I wasn't sure what exactly triggered Wayne, but suddenly, his eyes were locked on mine, unblinking. He stared at me so intensely that it made my skin prickle before he spoke in a deadpan voice. Suit yourself. He said that, then stood up and walked past me. In the shadows of the night, his figure seemed to carry an unexpected loneliness. Guilt seeped into my heart. After that, Wayne and I went back to being strangers. Even when we crossed paths, he didn't stop to look at me, his gaze moving away immediately. It was as if nothing had ever happened. But Rex started going crazy again for no reason. Based on Wayne's attitude, you two really didn't have anything that day. He was playing with a lighter, casually leaning against the back of his chair. Irene, that guy is so full of himself, he can't even look at you. In your entire pool of options, I'm your best choice. I was frustrated as I watched Rex, who shouldn't even be in this class. So what? Does that give you the right to cheat with no consequences? Rex tossed the lighter aside, growing impatient. Just kissed her once and you're breaking up with me? Don't you think you're making a mountain out of a molehill? I nodded, and then, following his logic, asked him back. So now that we're getting back together, I can just kiss whoever I want. The next second, a book slammed onto the desk with a loud thud. Rex warned me in a low voice. You can try. This was an elective class, and many students had their heads buried in their phones, so no one paid attention to the small, unnoticed corner where we were. Rex grabbed my shoulder, not allowing me to escape. His gaze fell on the lower half of my face. Kissing random people? Irene, how cheap can you be? His grip on my shoulder was painful. Before I could say anything, Rex made a move so violent that it caught the teacher's attention. You too, what's going on? Rex shot me a heavy look. Then, he let go of my shoulder and I was thrown back, slamming into the rough stone wall behind me. Rex stood up without a care, flashing a smile at the teacher. Sorry, I got the wrong classroom. Then, he pushed the chair aside and walked out. The trouble didn't end there. After class, I realized that Frida was in this large lecture too. Because there were so many people, I hadn't noticed her presence throughout the class. She unusually didn't cause any more scenes. But as she passed by me, she sneered. "Irene, you're really in a muddled relationship with Rex. What's the difference between you and the third party?" I was distracted by the hand she had behind her back. Frida seemed flustered and walked faster. But I still saw it clearly. It was just her phone. But why was she hiding something with just a phone? That day, when I realized Frida's motive, I was working a part-time job. The Cat Cafe had recently launched a new event. The owner asked us to hand out flyers near the door. By pure chance, I accidentally handed one to Wayne. At the time, I was wearing a short-sleeve shirt and skirt, with the cafe's required black and pink cat ears headband. A black satin choker hung around my neck. "Sorry, I gave this to the wrong person." I pressed my lips together and tried to take the flyer back. "Can't I go?" Wayne's gaze traveled from the cat ears on my head down to my neck, then he took the flyer from my hand. "No." As soon as I finished handing out the flyer, I had no choice but to lead him inside. I did my best to minimize my presence. But Wayne wouldn't give me that chance. "What's the event? Aren't you going to introduce it?" His emotionless expression made me feel like he wasn't the type to enjoy a cat cafe. I had to smile politely and start introducing. "It's mainly about playing with the cats. You can also DIY a cat toy, take pictures with the cats, and get free printed photos. You can try it yourself, or bring friends to do the crafts and things." Wayne stopped in his tracks. He tilted his head and looked at me, his dark eyes bottomless. It made me lose track of my thoughts. "But I only want to do it with you." My mind exploded, like a mushroom cloud. I froze, staring blankly at Wayne, my face flushing rapidly. Wayne finally smiled slightly at the corner of his mouth, raised his hand, and casually flicked the cat ears headband on my head. His tone was laid back. "How come your cafe doesn't offer to make the crafts for you?" I quickly blinked, snapping back to reality. We do offer that." I lowered my head, leading the way in front of him. The temperature seemed unusually high that day. I raised my hand to fan my face, trying to cool myself down. Helping Wayne with the cat teaser stick wasn't a simple task. The main challenge was that I had to constantly be aware of the length of my skirt whenever I bent down. Wayne quickly noticed. He had just stood up, intending to offer me his seat. "Are you looking for trouble?" I froze for a moment and followed Wayne's gaze. A guy was standing behind me, pretending to be casual, with his arm nearly brushing against the hem of my skirt. He looked completely clueless. "It's not like he actually touched you, right? It's just that we're a little too close." Wayne gave a soft chuckle and mumbled an answer without even turning his head. "You're right." Before the guy could react, a thin bamboo stick used for the cat teaser was suddenly pressed right in front of his eye. "It's just a little too close, right?" One person was too terrified to even twitch, while the other was completely at ease. The difference was clear. "Wayne." I whispered his name. The bamboo stick didn't move an inch, and Wayne looked at me with calm indifference. "Let me hear what you have to say." Did he think I was going to plead for the creepy guy? I asserted myself firmly. "I just wanted to say, the stick's in the wrong place." I grabbed his hand and dragged it down the creepy guy's shirt. "What are you trying to do?" I didn't let go until I reached a certain important area. Satisfied, I nodded. "Stick it here." Wayne let out a low laugh and calmly replied. "Sure." He casually pressed it forward. "Ah. Don't." The creepy guy was up against the wall, with nowhere to run. I'm sorry, friend, but I really didn't touch your girlfriend." Mistaken for my girlfriend? This awkward, cliché scene had finally arrived. I opened my mouth, but Wayne beat me to it. He lazily twirled the bamboo stick, then put it away. "I know. You thought it was just a few words of warning?" The creepy guy gave an awkward chuckle, then immediately turned and left. I was about to breathe a sigh of relief and thank Wayne when I saw him walk straight to a particular spot. "Take it out." I followed him and realized it was Frida, wearing a mask and a baseball cap that almost covered half her face. She kept her head down and didn't move. Wayne impatiently tapped his fingers on the table in front of her. Are you going to take it out yourself, or should I help you? Frida clutched her chest tightly. It seemed like she was hiding something there. I'm a girl, do you want me to accuse you of sexual harassment in front of everyone? Wayne sneered. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. He made a move to grab it. Frida still stood her ground, her neck stiff. In the end, I snatched it out from her chest. It was a phone. I was just taking pictures of the cat. Please don't overreact, okay? Wayne pointed to the security camera by the door, his tone calm. You recorded at least 10 minutes. But in that direction, there are only occasional cats passing by. I glanced at the phone, then at Frida, who was starting to panic. I couldn't help but recall her recent strange behavior in the dorm. Other than blasting sound to talk to Rex, she was always walking around with her phone. Most of the time, she would unknowingly pass by me. I quickly pulled Wayne away and faced Frida. Either you unlock it yourself or I'll call the police. Please, don't call the police. Frida hesitated before unlocking the phone, continuing to explain. Irene, I really don't have any bad intentions. I watched her stammer and cover up. I just think you're pretty, so I took some photos, just collecting them randomly. She couldn't hold it in any longer and shakily unlocked the phone. I opened the photo album. Scrolling down, almost all the photos were of me. There were ones from earlier when I almost got touched by the creepy guy. Ones from when I was in the dorm in a nightgown. There were even photos of me in just a tank top. I'm sorry. I'll delete them now. If you don't want me to take pictures of you, I'll delete them immediately. I ignored Frida's apology and directly called the police. The police showed us a screenshot of a chat. Rex's birthday is coming up, and I plan to buy him a watch, but I don't have enough money. The reply said, Isn't Irene in your dorm? She's pretty, just take some pictures of her and sell them, it's quick money and easy. Frida, though I think she's just average looking, I'll take your suggestion. The female officer quickly added. Don't worry, luckily she didn't have time to sell the photos yet. I didn't feel relieved. Only a deep sense of dread. Anger suppressed my rationality. I walked up to Frida and slapped her across the face. While you belittle me, you use my photos to profit. Frida, is it fun to play both sides? That's when Rex came in. The female officer, looking young, gave me a couple of symbolic warnings before giving Frida a disdainful look and leaving. I didn't see it coming, but Rex suddenly shoved me aside. Are you crazy? I almost stumbled but was caught by Wayne in time. Rex, take care of your girlfriend first. He handed me his phone. All the photos are deleted, check if there's anything left. While Wayne was explaining the situation to Rex, I carefully checked Frida's phone again. Wayne had cleaned it out thoroughly. I threw the phone back at Frida. Throughout this whole process, she strangely kept staring at me. After Frida paid the fine and we left the police station, she suddenly stopped in front of me. Wait. Her gaze flickered between me and Wayne. There's a photo in your phone of Irene's back in just her underwear, with her head not in the shot. Normal people wouldn't be able to tell it's Irene, but Wayne deleted that photo immediately. The atmosphere turned tense with her words. I can't think of any reason, other than him having seen Irene in that underwear before. Frida suddenly smiled. But I'm curious, under what circumstances has he seen her in such intimate clothing? Rex immediately understood, and his cold gaze shot toward me. His voice was as cold as a ghost from hell, making me shiver. Explain. I noticed Wayne was about to step in front of me again. It seemed like he always stood in front of me during a crisis. A thought flickered in my mind. Maybe Wayne wasn't just trying to protect me because he felt responsible. There's nothing to explain. This time, I spoke before Wayne could. Frida's eyes widened in realization. After Wayne took you away that day, you didn't return to the dorm all night. Something must have happened, right? Rex's fists were clenched so tightly they were cracking. Yeah. My calmness made Wayne glance back at me. But what does that have to do with you? It seems like it doesn't concern either of you, does it? The coldness around Rex intensified, and the whole atmosphere froze. You're really looking for trouble. He stepped toward me, but Wayne immediately raised his hand to block him. I suggest you stop itching for a fight. Wayne. Rex growled. You know Irene is my girlfriend, and you're still touching her. Are you even still my friend? Girlfriend? Wayne remained calm as he reminded him. It seems like she hasn't been your girlfriend for quite some time. I saw Rex shift his attention to Wayne and quickly stepped in front of him. It was me, I drank too much and forced Wayne. The silence was suffocating. Wayne. It seemed like my words had caught him off guard, leaving him stunned for a moment. Before the three of them could process the active-passive relationship in my words, the car I called had arrived. I took a deep breath and, as quickly as I could, pulled Wayne into the car. He seems to have some mental issues. Let's just keep our distance for now, I said. Wayne's gaze fell on our tightly held hands. Okay, he replied. I immediately let go. Sorry, it really has nothing to do with you, but I dragged you into this. The lingerie had only been bought in the last couple of days. Wayne probably just deleted it casually. He rested his hand on the windowsill, his tone flat. That one looked a lot like the one you wore that day. I thought it was the same one. I was forced back into that memory. I could only respond nonchalantly. Really? I don't remember. Wayne wasn't someone who paid attention to details. He didn't pick up on my urgent desire to change the subject, continuing to speak slowly and calmly. I remember. I remember every detail from that day. I looked out the window, trying to gauge the speed of the car. I had the sudden urge to jump out. Wayne, as if not getting enough, cast another glance at me. After all, it was my first time. I pressed the button on my phone. It's already so late. The dorms will be closing soon. Please hurry up. As I spoke, I distanced myself from Wayne, moving to the farthest seat. Wayne let out a light, mocking laugh at my awkward attempt to change the topic. But thankfully, he didn't push me further. To thank Wayne for his chivalry that day, I decided to invite him to the Cat Cafe as many times as he wanted. He didn't have the excellent virtue of turning down such an offer. He agreed quickly. Once we got to the building below the dorm, I received a call from an unfamiliar number. Irene. After I blocked him, Rex had changed his number. He took a deep breath, as if he was trying to hold back his frustration. You said it was just an accident because you drank too much. I believe you. As long as you stop hanging out with Wayne. He paused, like he was making a huge concession. I can forgive you. As for the breakup, let's pretend you never said anything. I thought Rex was a delusional psychopath with no sense of right or wrong. Shut up if you don't understand what I'm saying. I was about to hang up. Irene. We're in the hotel with Frida. As long as you say no, nothing will happen tonight. I sighed. Wish you both the best with your future children. Then I hung up and immediately blocked the number. I stood there for a moment, and suddenly, the bet came to mind. A month had passed already. Rex lost. In this month, not only had I not initiated contact with Rex, but my mind had been occupied with someone else. Wayne. Sarcastic Wayne. Pretending to be distant Wayne. Lonely Wayne after being rejected. And Wayne, kissing me while pinning me down afterward. I think my feelings for him were somewhere on the edge of liking. But just because I liked him didn't mean I could use that night to tie Wayne down. I couldn't risk it until I was sure about my feelings. I didn't want to end up like Rex again. The activities at the Cat Cafe lasted a long time. I had no choice but to wear my work uniform, with cat ears on, and face Wayne every day during my shifts. Can't you just learn how to do it yourself? I sighed, feeling the weight of life. I can't keep teaching you. I have to hand out flyers. I have other jobs too. Wayne casually pinched a cotton ball in his hand before tossing it to me. He grabbed his phone and went to the front desk to speak with the boss. When he came back, he took the cotton ball from my hand again. The boss said that whenever I come, you can stop whatever you're doing and teach me. Why? I asked, leaning on a small chair and looking up at him. Wayne gave a slight tug on my cat ear headband. I signed up for a membership card. He had put 10,000 yuan on the card. The boss looked at Wayne with an almost sycophantic gaze. So, what's the next step? Wayne was holding a cat toy that seemed to be made for young girls. I didn't respond, just quietly watching him. Wayne noticed and put the toy down. "What's wrong? Are you chasing me?" I was a little embarrassed. But I really couldn't think of any indirect way to express it. Wayne casually murmured an mm. He lowered his gaze, masking his emotions as if he didn't care about anything. I fiddled with my fingers, nervous and a little stammering. "But I told you before, you don't have to take responsibility. You really don't need to worry about that accident." Wayne picked up another stick and began repeating the previous step. His tone was indifferent, but carried a hint of exhaustion. "It has nothing to do with that incident," Wayne said as he applied glue. "I've liked you from the start." At that moment, I was thankful my cat ears were fake. Otherwise, with my cat-like personality, they would have stood up and turned pink. The soft, golden light fell gently on the lashes of the boy's eyes. The last sentence Wayne had just said echoed in my mind. At that moment, the surroundings seemed to fall silent. I could hear the sound of my heart beating. Just as I hesitated whether to agree to Wayne so soon, an unexpected event helped me make up my mind. My period was already half a month late. I suddenly recalled a certain moment from that time. Wayne, breathless, said, "It's all used up, Irene." I felt like I had drunk fake alcohol, clinging to Wayne, moving around recklessly. "What are you talking about?" The roller coaster suddenly malfunctioned and stopped at a certain point. I didn't care about safety, just kept begging the operator to keep the ride going. The operator seemed helpless. But he couldn't resist my pleading. He just said, "As long as you don't take responsibility, it's fine." But after experiencing the roller coaster, I chose to escape immediately. Then, it was all forgotten in my mind. With a glimmer of hope, I bought a pregnancy test. As soon as I saw the two bright red lines, a wave of dizziness rushed through my mind. My temples started to throb. My hand involuntarily opened Wayne's chat window. But I couldn't type a single word. This was something I had to say face to face. I touched my stomach. I deliberately put on a jacket over my promotional skirt today and nervously waited for Wayne. But when I saw him, my words suddenly got stuck in my throat. I stood by the door, watching a scene not far away. A girl dressed adorably was laughing with another guy. Wayne's face looked like it had been covered with a layer of frost. He walked straight over, pulled the girl beside him, and said something to the guy before dragging the girl away. Clearly, he was jealous. The girl didn't mind, skipping along as she linked her arm with Wayne's. The sensitivity of my emotions was magnified in that moment. Tears welled up in my eyes. I sniffed, already imagining myself lying on an operating table. "What's wrong?" The scumbag I had just cursed at appeared in front of me. I didn't even notice when. Oh, and he was casually bringing along that adorable girl. The girl's eyes were clear like springs, her fake lashes fluttering. "Hey, why are you crying?" I stiffened immediately. That coarse male voice almost made me lose the baby. Wayne, seeing I was frozen, immediately grabbed the girl by the neck with a vicious look. "If you keep dressing up like a girl to scam people, I'll strip you naked and throw you on the street." The next moment, a wig was thrown right in front of me. I numbly shifted my gaze to the boy's face. "Heh, scared you, didn't I? I haven't even had a chance to introduce my gender yet." He cleared his throat. "I'm Wayne's roommate. I'm a guy, but it doesn't stop me from being a beauty. Oh, by the way, I remember you. Last year's campus beauty voting, you were third. I was ranked right ahead of you." Before I could fully process the information, Wayne had already kicked him away. "Why were you crying?" He brought up the topic again. My mind kept switching between imagining Wayne proposing to get married because of the baby, and imagining myself going to the hospital alone to get an abortion. Amidst the haze, I picked out a common element from both scenarios. "I'm pregnant." I blankly blurted out to Wayne. In the end, neither of the two scenarios I had imagined came true. Wayne drove me to get checked. The result was rather dramatic. I caught the pregnancy test mishap by accident. The doctor kindly reassured me. "It's okay, darling, you're still young. There's plenty of chance to get pregnant in the future." Me. The photo of Wayne and me coming out of the obstetrics and gynecology office was anonymously posted on the school's forum. When my friend told me, I instinctively thought I'd become the target of everyone's scorn. But when I clicked on the post, I realized the poster was subtly trying to make everyone think Wayne was entirely at fault. This post had been up for several hours already. Wayne must have seen it. I knew exactly where he couldn't defend himself. So, I registered a real name account and immediately reposted the thread. My boyfriend accompanied me for a routine checkup. The poster deliberately tried to smear him and invade our privacy. I've already reported this to the police. This was something only Rex would dare do. Instead of arguing with him for no reason, it was better to let the police invite him to the station. Just 2 minutes after I posted, I got a call from Wayne. Even though it was him calling, once I picked up, the silence was all his. I sighed. Why don't you ever defend yourself when you're being slandered? Are you a punching bag? Wayne's tone was indifferent. The post wasn't wrong. I accompanied you to the hospital for a pregnancy checkup without a clear status, so being criticized is normal. I was at a loss in the face of his awkwardness. Didn't you see my post? I thought about it. I still need to be responsible for you. Wayne's voice remained emotionless. Forget it, Irene. If it's just about being responsible, then forget it. I don't want to keep emotionally blackmailing you. Me. He's so dramatic. It felt like I was consoling a little princess. Wayne, I want to be responsible for you because I love you. Are you happy now? Wayne was silent for 2 seconds. Where are you? I told him my location, and 5 minutes later, Wayne came running over. Do you really love me? He pressed his lips together, asking seriously. I realized that my casual confession had only made him more uncertain. So, I stepped forward, hugged his waist, and buried my face in his black hoodie. I gently comforted him with sincerity. Yes. I really love you. I only love you. I love you the most, the most, the most. The next second, I was hugged back. The atmosphere started to heat up. But it was quickly chilled by the sudden appearance of Rex. And what about me? The ghost that wouldn't leave. I groaned and pulled my head out of Wayne's embrace. Rex, for once, wasn't furious, his voice was soft. I broke up with Frida a long time ago. Nothing happened between us. But it seems like you don't care at all. No wonder Frida had returned crying one day, not only moved out of the dorm, but also applied to transfer majors for the next semester. I slowly came back to my senses and looked at Rex. He stood in the wind, looking a bit thin. You knew I was the one who posted it, but you didn't even bother to call me. His voice cracked. I don't understand why things turned out like this. So annoying. If you don't understand, just die. I didn't have the patience to indulge his emotional outpouring. I grabbed my boyfriend and quickly fled the scene. Good thing you don't have to share a room with this crazy person. I muttered in relief. What are we doing here? I dragged Wayne to the most remote park on campus. Here, Rex won't be able to find us. He's a bit directionally challenged and doesn't know there's this tiny park on campus. Wayne's eyes were smiling, his deep voice even more flirtatious in this moment. He won't find us, and then? What do you want to do? I couldn't bear the intensity of his gaze. So, I threw myself back into his arms. I didn't hug you enough earlier. As I spoke, I snuggled into his hoodie, inhaling its fresh, light scent. Let's hug for a little longer. Wayne gently caressed the back of my head, casually running his fingers through my hair. His tone was slow. Just hugging? I pulled my head up from his chest. Do you want to kiss? Wayne nonchalantly hummed in agreement. I hesitated for a moment. What if someone sees? Wayne tightened his grip around my waist and spun me around to face another direction. No one will. There was almost no one passing by here. I stood on tiptoe and pecked him on the lips. Then you kiss me, Wayne. He chuckled, rubbing my ear, and then leaned down to kiss me. I followed his rhythm and accepted his kiss. The chemistry between us was surprisingly good. But it wasn't just our chemistry that was high. One day, Wayne and I spent the entire day together. In the evening, we passed by a newly opened theme hotel. Wayne stopped and gave me a meaningful look. Want to try something new? Curious and eager to learn, I followed Wayne inside. I knew it. A new roller coaster ride was about to begin. The end.